This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to another episode of An Anthropologist Watches Amberlynn Reid. And guys, we're gonna stick with this plan. We're gonna stick with this being way too analytical plan, because she's given us nothing, and I hear me out. She's doing it on purpose. So yeah, we're gonna stick with being way too analytical here, because that's what we do. That's what we do. If you came here not expecting me to talk way too long and read way too much into things, this is not the channel for you. Sorry. Anyway, just because I haven't done it in a while, I am an anthropologist by training. I am a retired archaeologist from the field. I was asked that the other day. I went to a compass reading class and they were like, "What do you mean ex-archaeologist?" I'm like, "Well, I don't do field work anymore." And he's like, "Oh, that's really interesting." Like, is it then? So yeah, there you have that. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members, of whom I owe a live stream to, and I'm planning on doing it, I think, Tuesday coming up. Today is April the 8th. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. So there's all of that out of the way. I just got back from watching the solar eclipse, so that was really cool. I got a few nice pictures. I think I got 3. I might have a 4th one. I have to look at it first and see how well it turned out, but I'm very excited about it. I was. The only thing I didn't get to see is there's apparently this comet that was just, and it still is, just off to the left of the sun, and it's like the Devil's Comet because it's got horns on it or something, but you can't see it during the day for obvious reasons because the sun. So supposedly, once the sun was fully eclipsed, you would have been able to look off to the left and kind of see a little dot that would have been the comet, but the cloud cover was just stunning. So we're lucky we got to see the solar eclipse, but we did get to see it. I'm very excited. Like I said, I got some cool pictures. I might insert a few. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that being the exciting part of my day, we're going to watch Amber's newest video, what I eat on a, quote, cheat day. I saw some people making comments about, like, how she doesn't need a cheat day and, like, her whole life's been nothing but cheat days. And I mean, I see that. I do. I personally, when did she get Barbie perfume? Anyway. I personally don't like the whole concept of a cheat anything. Because I think that having that idea of a cheat meal or a cheat day makes you go ham. Whereas if you're just trying to be rational with it, I guess is where I'm trying to go with this. Like, if I eat a donut, if you don't know, donuts are like my go-to. So if I eat a donut one day and it's not part of my meal plan, which it is never part of my meal plan, I'm not going to sit there and like beat myself up over the fact that I had a donut, but I'm also not going to be like, whoop, I guess it's a cheat day now. I'm just going to be like, yeah, I ate a donut. Life progresses. Let's shoot to not eat another donut for another month, you know, kind of a thing. God damn it. Now I want donuts. Anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at with the whole cheat meal, cheat day kind of a thing. But I do understand that some people, like, can't have cheats. Like, it will just derail them so quickly, Amber being one of them. So the whole idea of having a cheat anything is probably just a bad idea in general, which is unfortunate because it does mean that you're going to end up cutting out foods that you really enjoyed eating, but that were absolute garbage for you, like donuts, for example. So that's where I kind of sit on the cheat meal thing. I don't think things like Thanksgiving or like Christmas dinner, or if you do an Easter kind of a thing, or any other kind of large family gathering where there's typically large amounts of food. There are other cultures besides my own who eat food. I don't think those kind of days should be considered cheat days either, because, like, what are you going to do? Not eat the food? You're going to not hang out with your family? I mean, some of you might be like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. Cool. That's not really an option for me, like, or for a lot of people. If I'm going to a family gathering, a holiday family gathering, and I know there's going to be a crap ton of food there, I'm just going to be like, all right, well, it's Christmas. You know, it just is what it is. So I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel about that kind of stuff. I just don't think. I think thinking of foods as cheating just opens a lot of doors you probably don't want to open when you're trying to control or regulate your eating, especially around things like trigger foods, like snack foods from Trader Joe's, Amber. So that's just my take on that. All right. That's enough of a ramble of that. All right. I do have her sped up to time and a quarter, and this is only a 9-minute video, so we should get through it pretty fast. I have already watched it once, so I know what's coming. Let us jump into this.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to be filming a what I ate today video. Yay. So my goal usually is to stay below 2,000 calories, but what has been helping me
for the whole week and a half that I've been doing this. So this is another one of those moments. Here's the thing with Amber. If you've been around for any length of time, Amber does something for like 4 hours and suddenly she is the authority on whatever the hell it is. Dieting is like her number one go-to. Amber diets successfully for 20 minutes and suddenly she's got to make a video explaining the ins and the outs and what her tricks for successfully dieting for 20 minutes were, and she just can't wait to post that video so that everybody else can see it and be inspired by the fact that this diet has helped her for 20 minutes. I'm almost not joking about that, though. How many times have we watched her start one of her weird fad diets where she starts giving us a lecture on how great the diet is, and she's literally been on it for like a day, maybe 2 days? You know, this is part of that. I mean, when did she announce to us that she's been doing intuitive eating? And that started in what, April? So 8 days ago, you know, and before that, oh no, this is the calorie restriction. Excuse me. She's been calorie restricting since April-ish. And before that, she was intuitively eating, apparently. I mean, yes, according to her, she is losing weight. So there's that, I suppose. But you've only been doing calorie counting for like a week and a day. Do you really need to have a cheat day? And why are you telling us what's been working for me in the past 8 days is I don't care. Tell me about it again in a year. Tell me about it again in 6 months. You know, tell me again when you've dropped 20 pounds. Not over the past 2.5 years. You know, it's that kind of a thing. I don't know.
Personally, from overeating or just giving up in general, instead of like having a standard cheat day where normally in the past I would allow myself to literally eat everything under the sun that I absolutely wanted, and then that would spiral me for weeks and I could not get back on track. So what I do now instead, which I've done twice already, and it has worked great because...
So you've done this twice in the 8 days-ish. I might be truncating that a bit much, but I think it's only been since April. So twice now in the last 8 days, you've had a cheat day.
Because I have not messed up on my diet. I am still losing weight and I'm feeling really, really good. So what I've been doing is allowing myself to have like my own version of a cheat day. And what that means, I'm giving myself like a different calorie limit.
So with Amber, for those of you who've been here, Amber can't do anything the way it's lined out. If you handed Amber a guaranteed 100% will not fail diet plan and exercise plan, and you handed it to her and you said, all you have to do is the exact steps in this plan. Don't deviate, don't modify, just do it. And I guarantee you, you will lose weight. You will be at your goal weight at the end of 12 months. I'm exaggerating a bit, but my point is, if you did that and handed it to her, she wouldn't read it. She might skim over the first 2 pages. And then she would go, well, I'm going to modify this because for me, I need to do X, Y, Z. I know my body. I need this. Me. Amber is a lot like Glitter and Lasers, where she is so goddamn special that things that would work on 90% of the population will not work on her because she is that special, you guys. So for Amber, she's got her own version of a cheat day. Not that there's any hard or heavy rules for a cheat day, but Amber believes that there are. And because she believes that there are rules for cheat days, she's got to change them and modify them so that they are different, so that they're her rules. And her rules are better than anybody else's rules because, you guys, those are the rules that work for her.
I want to stay below 2,500. So usually by doing that, I don't.
To be perfectly honest, her regular calorie count right now should be around 2,500. That's just my personal opinion. She's not on 600-pound life. She's not being supervised by Dr. Now or anyone. Just, she can eat 2,500 calories and still lose weight pretty rapidly.
I don't lose weight the next day. I usually stay the same, but this has helped me so much with staying on track. So that is my goal for today. Stay below 2,500. This is my version of like a cheat day. If I did not allow myself to do this and I constantly thought about how bad I wanted to eat like this or that or extra things, that is when I binge.
Okay, so first off, remember last video we were talking about how, oh, maybe it was the video before that. We were talking about how Amber always rewrites her story so that she is the victim. And the reason why she needs to be the victim is so that she can remove agency from herself. So because apparently we have binge eating disorder again, which we were miraculously cured of not too long ago. So apparently we've got this again. That behavior, that diagnosis, well, she hasn't brought it up yet, but she's talking about binging. Anyway, that behavior removes any agency that she has. Like, she could just not buy the snacks. She could just sit with the discomfort of wanting something. She could go to a therapist. She could do a number of things besides cave. But since she doesn't want to admit that she's the one that bought the snacks, she's the one that is going to go eat the snacks, instead of owning that, she's going to be like, I have no control over it. And the more I think about it, the less control I have over it. Weren't you the same person who just got done telling us that anytime you feel like you want to eat something, you have a really severe craving, you just stop doing whatever it is that you were doing in that moment and you go and do something else, and then that has miraculously cured any cravings that you've had? Didn't you just get done telling us that? But now we're back on the storyline of she's got binge eating disorder. She can't be held responsible for her cravings. Therefore, she has to cave to them. In her shopping haul from Trader Joe's, which again was last video or the video before, she pulls out a package of salami and she says, salami can be a trigger food for me. So why did you buy it? Unless, knowing that it's a trigger food, you wanted it in the house, again, knowing that it's a trigger food. Which can only tell me one thing, is that you're planning this. And I have asked before, and people have told me that they do sometimes plan these things. They do sometimes plan their binges. You know, just putting it out there.
That is when I overeat. That is when I spiral for weeks on end. So I found like a perfect compromise in the middle, and I figured today would be a really good day to show you guys.
You've done it twice, ergo it is the perfect compromise.
What I eat on a day where it's kind of like a cheat day. So none of my meals are going to make sense. I'm not having.
I do also want to point out, just her overall look, remember we talk about material culture and we talk about like presentation as culture. There's nothing in this image that is accidental. It's not like she's out in nature and there accidentally happens to be a tree leaf positioned behind her that looks like, I don't know, Ronald McDonald's head or something like that. Everything here she's put here intentionally, okay? So this is, the background even tells us a story about her. And if you remember the various items that are back here and when she acquired them, you can kind of be there for the story anytime she stands in front of it. The silver button being not the newest example, but the most recent example, because she did go back to talk about A, that she has one, and B, when she acquired it. So it is a recent reminder, but that button has been there for a while. Again, the Barbie perfume, when did we get Barbie perfume? And all of her other perfumes, her Billie Eilish perfumes, and I'm assuming whatever that grayish bottle is also some sort of perfume. You've got all these books behind her because, you know, she's a reader, you guys. And then I remember something about this geode and how pretty it was, and somebody had sent it to her. I don't remember exactly, but I remember her getting it. So she has this really pretty, or very Well, it's an interesting background. I mean, it isn't. It's better than mine. Mine is a cluttered cluster F. So there you have that. But I mean, this does kind of tell you a whole lot about me. Just welcome to my brain. Same kind of thing with Amber. The other thing I want to kind of look at is the presentation of the self that she's doing here. You know, she's got her little gemstones on. She's got her eyeliner going. She's got that lip color on. She's got her earrings, the 2 necklaces that she's obsessed with right now. This weird poofy, I'm going to assume it's a dress because that's basically all she wears. And then the hair. I saw a lot of people talking about the hair. I don't have anything against the hair. I think it's kind of cute. Personally, I've worn my hair like this before, and I will probably wear my hair like that again. It does allow her to play with it quite a bit, and she's bringing a lot of attention, not just to her hair by the constant petting of it, but it also brings attention to her face, which is where she really wants the attention at. Amber almost always is trying to draw attention to her head and her cleavage, if you'll ever notice. And to do that, she does a lot of different things with her hair, even though her makeup does not change usually very much. The most that her makeup has changed recently has been these rhinestones that she's gluing to her face. And it's, oddly enough, they're starting to grow on me. So I don't hate them. I just wouldn't wear them outside of like a club kind of a thing, you know? But, you know, I'm not Amber.
Having like a standard breakfast today. I will be eating processed foods. I will be eating on camera. It's just like tons of disclaimers, but I'm just getting you guys ready for what you're about to see.
Because it's so damn bad, you guys. Oh my God.
I can safely say that I have not been on track this consecutively in years. It has been years. That is why I feel safe to show you guys like what I'm eating, because I'm in the right head frame, mindset, whatever
Poet Lynn over here.
it may be. Just know that whatever you guys see me eat today is a vast improvement to like my standard way of eating and what made me at one point 572 pounds.
At one point, 572. That's when she stopped weighing herself, mind you. The whole concept of like giving us a forewarning about what she's going to eat. I think she feels like she needs, I think that's a genuine thing. I think she does feel like she needs to warn us because I think she's tired of people like coming at her for eating. Stop eating on camera. Either stop eating on camera or don't give an F. I've said this many, many times. Amber wants to be a mukbang channel more than anything else on the planet. Just do it. Why do you care what the rest of us think? You know that those make you the most money. You know that those are the most watched. They're the most replayed. Why, as a business person, do you give an F if the haters in your community don't like you eating on camera? They're going to watch anyway. So what do you care?
All right, let's get into it. Okay, guys, so the first thing I'm going to have, which I cannot pronounce, is cheese-filled fiocchetti with
I don't know how to say that either.
pink sauce. So it says on the back of the bag for stovetop to use some oil. So I'm going to be measuring the oil using about half of a serving, which would be about 7.5 milliliters.
Why would you use half of a serving of oil? Whatever. I don't measure my oil. I never have. Probably won't ever start.
So I'm going to be cooking this in a pan. Okay, so I have half a serving of oil.
Those are chunks of sauce, aren't they? Those are neat little pasta things. They look like little knapsacks. Those look really good, actually.
And this is how it looks frozen. Okay, you guys, so I'm finished. And I cooked this down a lot. Like a lot. Because I like my food to be cooked. So
because I like it when my food's hard and dry.
So a lot of the oil that was already originally in the sauce and plus the oil that I added is like still in the pan.
I feel like I find it interesting that she feels the need to justify why there's still oil in the pan. A, I don't care. And B, it's the weird things that she chooses to defend herself on. She's like, look, you guys, I didn't use that much oil. Look, I swear that's the oil that came off of the food. It probably is. Those chunks that kind of looked like butter and or chicken were probably sauce because it's, as you can see, it's melted down because it's one of those instant meal things. So yeah, it probably is oily AF.
But regardless, this is 930 calories. So on a day where I was trying to stick below 2,000, I would not be eating this.
Okay.
if I did choose to do
You do realize that bag is not a single serving.
so, I'd probably only have like half a serving with like a ton of broccoli or something. Okay, so really quickly, let's do a taste test.
This is really interesting because I noticed this when I watched this the first time. She's working really hard to not make eye contact with the camera while she's eating, while she's feeding herself. She doesn't quite make it. But I also noticed that she did quite a bit of editing, and I'm assuming it's to cut those moments out, which means somebody's listening to the channels that she claims she doesn't watch about her basically feeding herself.
That's good.
See? I'm not looking. The food isn't in my mouth yet. I'm looking away. Are you then?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to easily give this like an 8.5 out of 10. I'm going to go eat this. Oh, I need a drink. Hold on. So I'm going to be having a water and a diet green tea Lipton mixed berry. So good.
Sorry. There is absolutely nothing in that sentence that sounded good. Lipton diet mixed berry. Oh, why?
I always shake the tea before I drink it because there's usually just like some stuff down there.
Mold? Is there mold in your tea, Amber? Is there mold in your tea? That sediment? Like in your Gatorade? That sediment in the bottom of your Gatorade, that was mold. I bet that's mold in your tea.
You guys, I'm not going to lie to you, but I cannot eat any more of this. I'm not used to eating things like this anymore. It's just...
This is just a kind of aside. I always used to, and I still do say, I'm not going to lie, and then I'll say something. And I was trying to evaluate why I say that so much, and I said it long before this. But she says it a lot too, and I'm just kind of like, why do we feel the need to preference something that is not a lie by saying, I'm not going to lie? Does that mean I was thinking about lying before I decided to not tell the lie? Like, that's what it implies, right? So, and then I'm like, well, with Amber, though, it's entirely possible she had meant to lie. Or she's trying to prove her sincerity by saying she is not lying. And it's just a very odd phrase that a lot of people use. I mean, there's even an abbreviation for it. So it's just an odd thing that we say.
Just like very rich. It's delicious, but like my stomach is like, girl, no more. So
the amount of oil that cooked off of that, I can imagine has upset your stomach. Again, this was not meant to be a single serving.
Oh, I'm not going to eat the rest of that, but I'm still going to consider it the full amount of calories.
Why? Okay, cool, whatever. It'd be another one of those situations where weighing your food would actually help.
Very much like to overestimate things just in case, but I don't.
Just in case what? So you're admitting that you don't accurately track calories anyway, but saying that and telling me what you're doing with this, I always overestimate. What that also tells me is that at some point during your day, you're like, well, I've been overestimating, so I probably have X number of calories that I actually didn't eat. So I can totally eat this thing that is X number of calories and just call it even.
I don't think I'm going to be eating for a hot minute because, like I'm telling you, my stomach doesn't feel the greatest after eating that. See, this is why it feels so much better to not have days where I eat things like that.
There's a lot happening here. First off, you want me to believe that you're not going to eat the rest of that. Cool. Secondly, you want me to believe that your week of clean eating has made your stomach so delicate now that it can't handle eating things that you eat on the regular normally. But, 1 week of clean eating and suddenly you're a delicate flower when it comes to rich, oily foods. Secondly, you want me to believe that you've experienced this upset enough times in a row now that you've sworn off eating anything and everything that isn't nailed down in your house. Okay. It's just, you haven't been doing the clean eating or the cheat day eating long enough, in my opinion, for this to have had any effect on you physically. Okay? Your wow. Your gut biome takes longer than that to shift. So just a quick Google search that I didn't go terribly in depth on. The changing of the gut biome can take weeks to months to happen. There apparently are certain subspecies that can change within 24 hours, but then hit a baseline around 3 days out. So again, it takes weeks, plural, to months, plural, for your gut biome to shift enough, in my opinion, to start causing you upset to the point where you can no longer eat foods that we all goddamn know you've been eating this entire time. Girl. Anyway. But going back to dark anthropology and the whole concept of Amberlynn manipulating her audience, this is one of those ways that she's trying to manipulate the audience. She's established that she's losing weight. Okay, so that's the storyline we've been on since the 1st of January. And she's recently let us know that up until that point, or up until recently, like, I swear to God, guys, it happened around April 1st. She's been intuitively eating and been distracting herself when she has massive cravings so that she hasn't been overeating. And so this is the new storyline. And then just recently, she's decided that she wants to start calorie counting again, which is something that never works for her because she doesn't calorie count properly. But all of these things build up. All of these things are stepping stones that she has to help create, again, to shape the online persona that is Amberlynn Reid. And she's been trying to reinvent herself for a while now. Even before the wifey era ended, she's been trying to create a new Lynn. I've been calling it that. This is just another one of those hard shifts. She's trying to convince the audience that she's done a 180 and that she's finally got her cravings and her diet and her binging figured out, and that she's got all these little tricks now. And you guys, she's an authority on this now. This isn't as bad as Glitter and Lasers, where Glitter and Lasers literally tells people, like, speaks from her chest as an authority about diet and exercise when it's very clear she has no ground to stand on there. It's not that bad, but it's the same kind of thing. Amber wants to be an influencer and she wants to be an inspiration. And this is something that she's said with her own mouth a few times throughout the life of this channel. And this is just that. This is just an extension of that. She's improving, you guys. Isn't she inspirational? Look at her. She's losing weight. She's doing the darn thing, you know. But you're losing less. You're losing maybe 10 pounds a month. Maybe. And your goal weight to lose for this coming month is 10 pounds, 0.2. That's the weight you're shooting for at the end of this month. Okay. So inspirational, my girl. So inspirational.
Twinkie looks so cute. Speaking of Twinkie, you guys wanted an update on her. She's doing amazing. She took all her antibiotics. She no longer has any abscess. A lot of people were asking, I know this is like, I should probably talk about this in a vlog, but since I'm here, a lot of people were like, why didn't you take her to a primary vet? She does have one here. It's just, I couldn't get her in.
This story.
In an emergency, so I had to go somewhere else. So that's why I had to go to an emergency vet, because when I called, they were like, yeah, we can see her in a few days. And I'm like, no. Like, I was so worried. I want her to be seen like now. So then that's when they recommended the emergency vet that I actually went to, which I loved. And by the way, the vet was a subscriber. Hello, if you're watching.
Of course she was. Did you see that quick glance into her lie zone though? She's got her dead eyes going on. Somebody asked me about this earlier because you can't see me do it. If you take like your thumb and like close an eye, or just, hold it up to the screen enough and just cover the lower half of her face so that you could just see her eyes. And you can do it with any other part of her face too. The goal is to just block out like the eyes or the mouth or the forehead or one side of the face or the other. Anyway, that helps you like just concentrate on one feature of the face to kind of get a feel for the body language thing that we talk about a lot here. So somebody asked me about that, and I hope that clarified a little. Probably made it worse, but whatever. If you take your thumb and you just kind of cover up her nose and her mouth and you just look directly at her eyes, she's got the dead eye thing going on. That's kind of one of the ways that she's lying.
So then that's when they recommended the emergency vet that I actually went to, which I loved.
By the way, we're going into it here. By the way, Closing our eyes. Keeping them closed while we say it because we don't want to make eye contact while we're being dishonest. Yeah, there it goes. Very subtle, but she shifts. There we are. We're in our lie zone. And there, the eyes just die. She's got a little crinkle going on here with the smile and stuff. And then, if you're watching, dead right here. Where does it happen? We're smiling. We're not. We're done. We're done with the smiling now. It's very creepy to watch, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
And they didn't actually tell me until after everything was said and done, which I thought was like very professional.
Because they didn't tell you in the first place? You're just making it up?
And they were just like, I love you. I know who you are. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Are you guys believing me? I gotta look into the viewfinder to make sure you guys are believing me.
So she saw me like cry for Twinkie because like when I had to sign this like paper for Twinkie to be sedated, like I literally had like a tear come down.
I'm not. Look, when your animals are sick and you have to get them taken care of, it is very stressful and it is like terrifying. I had 2 very old cats that required some emergency attention more than once. And I mean, I had a cat that didn't come back from the emergency vet. So like, I get it. It's just very terrifying. It's just the way that she tells the story. It's just so devoid of actual emotion, you know? When I was signing the paperwork, I had an actual tear that came down my cheek. You don't have to be so overdramatic about that. If you truly care about the animal and you're truly terrified, you don't have to tell me that you had an actual tear. You could just say, I was crying. I would believe you if I believe that you cared about your animals.
Because it scared me because it's like I had to sign if I wanted them to like help her breathe if she stopped breathing or anything like that. And I'm like, yes. Then I told my mom actually when we were leaving, I was like, I have met a lot of subscribers.
Yes. To the point where no one believes you because you've yet to A, prove it, and B, we've yet to see any kind of evidence of that. You have met a lot of people. Like every other person in your videos, when you talk about them, is a subscriber. So apparently this entire town is subscribed to you.
Like easily over 100, like easily. None of them has met Twinkie besides one. So yeah, she was just super sweet and she loved Twinkie so much and she was just so kind and helpful.
I'm not saying the vet wasn't any of these things. I don't think the vet's a subscriber.
But yeah, Twinkie is doing amazing. Okay, so the next thing I'm having is a serving of these rice cakes, which is 30 grams. Sorry to have that measured. You actually get a lot for a serving, not
Try these. I'm not crazy about them.
gonna lie. And then I will be having 6 of these olives. One of them is 25 calories. Then I'm just having 1 pack. This pack, I just have it opened. It's just some salami sticks, which look like that. They're actually super good. Okay.
One thing that she does. Okay, so weren't there supposed to be 6 of those? Anyway, one thing that she does that just kind of drives me nuts, and it's like, just put the camera down. Just use your tripod. She'll try to do this shit with one hand, and it always just kind of, like, her dexterity with her hands is very limited. And so when she does this kind of stuff, like trying to show us the meat sticks, it would be awkward to begin with, and then with her limited dexterity, it just kind of looks like she's a toddler, just like smashing her hand into the snack. Look at the snack, you guys. And it's just like, put the camera down, use both hands. It will look less awkward.
Okay, so last minute, I decided to just have 4 olives because I realized that they're pretty big. They're stuffed with garlic and jalapeno. So
They do sound good.
for this plate, it does come out to 350 calories. Honestly, this salami, I know it looks weird,
Why does it look weird?
but it's the best texture and it tastes so good. And you really do get a lot of these little thingies. And you guys know that I love a crunch.
I love talking with food in my mouth.
All right, so next thing I'm having are 2 of these pulled pork tamales. It's $3.40 for
Authentic Mexican style.
one of them, so $680 for 2, which so far I've had 1,960 calories today. All right, so here it is finished. So let's do a taste test. I'm hoping.
This is another, I mean, obviously she's been eating food this entire time. So this is, again, she's going to try really hard not to watch herself eat.
That's good. I do love me a tamale. That's tasty.
She is trying so hard not to look at the camera. It's actually kind of funny. I don't even know where she is looking because she's just like staring off into space because she's concentrating so hard on not watching herself eat. And I think it's really interesting because this is abnormal behavior for her. Usually she's watching the fork go into her mouth, she's wrapping her tongue around the food, she's scraping it off the fork in this really kind of odd way, and she's watching herself chew the first couple bites, and then sometimes she'll look away. But there's that first bite or two, that is like the most intense moment. That's like the most intense moment for her, and she has, until this video, always made eye contact either with the viewfinder. She's either watching herself in the viewfinder or she's making eye contact with the camera because she watches this back. I'm convinced that she's a self-feeder.
Yep, that's tasty. That might be a 10 out of 10 for me. I do love Tapatio. You guys know me. Like, Tapatio girly pop. So I do want to try it with Tap. A lot of people ask why I like Tapatio so much. I actually grew up with it. I've just used it as my go-to hot sauce since I was literally like 8 years old.
Cool. I don't know why this is an important story for her to tell, but it is. And it's an identity thing. The Tapatio is part of her identity. I think I've seen her occasionally use other hot sauces, but she always goes back to Tapatio. And it's like the garlic sauce and the onion powder. She probably does like the taste of it, but it's also part of her identity. Because again, Amber's complicated. Amber's complicated, you guys. But she has identity through food. And those things that she uses to identify herself with is like the Tapatio and the garlic powder and the onion powder and the garlic salt. And she's quit using Mrs. Dash so much, but I'm sure she probably still uses it here and there, kind of a thing.
I did have a sriracha era, but
I remember that.
I love Tapatio. Yep.
You can see her eyes flicker back and forth real fast, but she's been editing it because she doesn't want us to see it. The whole her feeding herself thing.
So we're about to... So with this, I am just having a mini can of Sprite Zero. Okay, so the next...
That one was a perfect example. She goes to start drinking it, and who holds their can like that? Anyway, she goes to start drinking it, and she's like, ooh, 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 kind of a thing.
Next thing I'm having is this Trader Joe's mac and cheese. It is only 270 calories.
It's reduced guilt. It's still 543 grams of sodium. It's still 40 grams of carbohydrates. How many of those are sugars? 4 grams of sugar.
So I have had this before, so no taste test, but this is delicious and I definitely recommend it. So I'm gonna go warm this up in the microwave and enjoy. So I forgot to show it.
Those things are terrible.
But with my mac and cheese, I'm having a sparkling ice in black raspberry.
I've tried every flavor of those. Not every flavor. I've tried at least 3 or 4 flavors of those. There's just something about them I don't like the taste of.
This one is so freaking good. Y'all, I am so tired. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Uh-huh. Tired. Look, I don't care if Amber be beezing on the internet. I don't care. It's like, she's tired, you guys, because her eyes totally don't get like that when she's like relaxed. It's interesting though. Something that she has stopped doing, and I know this is close to the end, but something that she has stopped doing is announcing to us when she's becoming relaxed or drinking, for the most part, because I think she's, on the one hand, I think she's tired of the feedback that she gets. She gets very negative. She gets negative feedback anyway. But people really come for her for those two things. Also, she's completely cured of her desires for them because these were 2 things that she claimed that she was having issues with, and now she's just miraculously over it. But also, I think might have the not admitting to it on video anymore might have something to do with either Valentine or the new wifey. I don't know, because I don't know if I believe that they're real people. So I think there's this amorphous idea of Valentine, but I don't think Valentine is a person, an individual person right now. Valentine might be a couple different people. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I took my melatonin, which this is the best.
Melatonin doesn't get you this level of relaxed. Just pointing this out.
It's the brand Ollie. It's the sleep. I just get it from Target. I'm sure you can get it anywhere, but I'm so tired. Wow. And I forgot to end this vlog. I had about 2,200 calories today, so I definitely was successful in staying under my 2,500. And by doing that, I allowed myself.
Does she put more glitter on throughout the day, or is the angle just catching the glitter more?
To have some of the foods that I probably wouldn't have had if I was eating like a healthier day, which is when I stay below 2,000. So it's been working for me, and I think that's all that matters. You know, there was a moment today where I was like, damn, I want takeout so bad, but I ignored it. So this is where the
So if you can ignore those cravings, why can't you ignore the rest of them?
cheat day ends, and I'm getting back to below 2,000 calories tomorrow. And if you guys did make it this far, here's a secret weigh-in. I weighed in today at 488.0, so it is the lowest that I have weighed.
Look, if I don't get to see my beloved ceiling, I'm not taking your word for this. I don't hold the ceiling ransom to me. Show me the ceiling. I don't even want to see the scale. Just show me the ceiling. I'm kidding.
In a hot minute, and yeah, I'm just like really proud of myself, and I just want to keep it up. Obviously, I'm not doing perfect by no means, but I've definitely made a lot of improvement, and I have room to grow and be better. But I'm about to take off this hair makeup, I'm about to shower, I'm about to put my hair up, and then I'm about to go to bed because I am super tired. I hope that you guys did enjoy this vlog, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Enjoy is a strong word. All right. Interesting things that happened in this video. Is probably the most interesting thing for me is her determination to not feed herself on camera. She's still eating on camera, but that whole making eye contact with herself while feeding herself on camera, that's something that she was editing out heavily during all of these eating sessions that she did. And if you go back to any of the other videos that she's ever done where she's eating, you can see that her behavior in this video, her eating behavior in this video is way different than her eating behavior in pretty much any other video. And that's why I'm just like, wow, okay, she's editing this on purpose to take out something. And I'm assuming it's the eye contact because that's the only thing missing. So I find it interesting that she's determined in this video to make sure that we don't notice or we don't see her doing that. Because remember, she did it and she edited it out. So she still got to see it play back. So her enjoyment of the moment is still there. We're just not, as the audience, seeing it anymore. But we know it's there because we can see the edits. This is the problem with editing on your phone. You can't cut it as clean as I can cut it on a computer, you know, kind of a thing. I guess the other interesting thing is her clearly being relaxed to the point of falling asleep and just telling us she's tired. So she's quit talking about her other vices. I don't know if she'll not talk about them in the future, but she's not mentioning them now when it's very clear that's what's happening. Because when she does, her one eye gets bigger than the other eye. The one eye slits down and the other eye gets big. And it's very noticeable, at least to me. Other interesting things. All she shows us food-wise is things that she bought from Trader Joe's, with the exception of the drinks, which she showed us her very aesthetically stocked refrigerator not too long ago. So we're still going over brands. We're still look at what I'm eating. You know, the calorie counting and the overestimating of the calories, because it's just better that way, you guys. Again, I say that's probably explaining, like, that first meal. She's like, yeah, it's 900 calories. And then she's like, you guys, I'm only eating half of it, but I'm still going to count all of the calories. Well, there was clearly half of that left in the bowl, you know? So what did you eat later that you were like, well, I only ate half of those 900 calories, and this is roughly the same as those 400 and some odd calories that I didn't actually eat, so I'll just slip these in but not count them, kind of a thing. I think that happens a lot. Somebody pointed out in her comment section, and I'm not going to dig for it, But somebody pointed out in her comment section that if she really was eating at a caloric deficit like she claims she is and has been for a week now, even with this cheat day, she should still be dropping like large amounts of weight, not like these point fractions of a pound that she's losing. So that's actually pretty that's actually a really good point that was brought up that's actually a really good point that the comment brought up, because even though I'm saying, yes, she's still progressively losing weight, she's still losing like fractions of pounds. Whereas just cutting her calories in half, remember, she's eating something like 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day or something crazy like that. Just cutting them down to 2,500 would be half of the calories that she's eating on the regular. She should still be losing large amounts of weight. Maybe not like 20 pounds in a week, but definitely more than less than a pound in a week, you know? What else is interesting? There really wasn't a whole lot going on here other than her trying to make her cheat day special. It's not like everybody else's cheat days, you guys. This is her cheat day. It's a very special cheat day. This is the cheat day that works for her because she's done it twice now without issues. So it obviously this is how it works. So and that's just typical Amber. You know, I did something for more than 24 hours, ergo it's rock solid. It's also very typical Amber for this to last not very long. Last time she did something where she was being very public about it, she got 3 weeks into January before she crapped out. So I don't know. My guess is we've got another week and a half of this calorie counting stuff, and then we're gonna never hear about it again. And we're just gonna move on to whatever the next topic is with no explanation about anything in the past. And if you bring it up, she will just ignore you. Amber is the queen of just like, it does not exist. This doesn't support my narrative. It does not exist. Yeah, I know I made like 14 million videos and they're all still up on my channel, but these things do not exist in my world. You made the videos. They're still on your channel. Anyway, so that is Amber's What I Eat on a Cheat Day. I think I have stretched this out as long as I can. I hope some of it was entertaining at least. The eating videos are a little bit more difficult to do just because like Amber doesn't eat in a cultural kind of way. She doesn't have that kind of cultural background to eat. And the foods that she eats are very all over the damn place. So it's not even like she's eating regionally. Like I'm sure in California, where she claims she's from, that there's a not necessarily an ethnic kind of way of eating, but just because it's such a melting pot and it's also so close to the Mexico border, I would imagine, this is me imagining these things, that there is a food culture within California, or at least the areas that she's claiming to be from, that would be pretty ubiquitous across all of the residences, regardless of if they are of an ethnic background or not. Does that make sense? Like the tamales thing. I could almost give her tamales and tapatio coming from a cultural food background out of California if there wasn't all the other random shit that goes in there. And also if she hadn't gone through a sriracha phase like she said she did. I'm not willing to give her that. And it's just like her food habits are so random that I can't even comment on them in any kind of like even subcultural capacity. Like she's a grazer. That's pretty much her thing. She probably grazes most of her calories and then eats meals on top of the grazing. And that's probably where she loses track of things. She probably grazes quite a bit. And she's like, oh, it's just one, or it's just two, or it's just this little thing over here. Maybe she's cleaned up that aspect of her eating, that grazing part of her eating, and maybe that's why she's losing microscopic amounts of weight, because even though she's eliminating those calories, it's still not the bulk of the calories, but it's enough to keep her around 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. So that's just me guessing, but it's also me trying to say with the eating videos, other than her general behavior during the videos, I don't really have a whole lot to say, because normally I would say, all right, this is a cultural thing, or this is clearly a family tradition, or she's getting these eating habits from XYZ and she's falling back on them when she wants comfort style foods. But these foods were all over the damn place. Like at the beginning, I guess we could say she's stuck with pasta because she had that Italian style pasta at the beginning. I'm guessing that's Italian style pasta. It could be French. I don't know. But then she has, what did she have? She had this little weird snack plate of random shit. And then later she had the 2 tamales. And then later she had microwave macaroni and cheese. It's just kind of all over the place, food ways wise. So it's really just, I guess what I could say is she's like an opportunistic eater. She went to Trader Joe's, she saw these things, she had the impulse to buy them, and so she did, and she brought them home. And so that's why she has these foods. Again, she doesn't plan her meals. So again, I can't really speak to like the cultural aspect of her food because she doesn't have any. But if it's in her house and she wants to eat it, she will eat it. So that's where I'm saying like the opportunistic part comes out of it. Does she create the opportunity for herself? Yes, by purchasing those foods. But I don't think she buys those foods with the plan of, I'm going to eat a handful of them on Tuesday and I'm going to eat a handful of them on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I'm going to have the fake Funyuns on Tuesday or on Thursday. I don't think she does that. I think it's just she has an urge. She goes to wherever she stores her food. Whatever catches her eyes first, that's what she eats. That's the opportunistic part of it. Anyway. All right, I've rambled enough about this as I can. If you have made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave a sun down in the comments section because today was the solar eclipse. We might have this icon, we might have this emoji in multiple videos because the eclipse is really cool, you guys. Anyway, go ahead and leave a sun down in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think. I know I ramble because I'm trying to make this more interesting than it is. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. And if you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe. And don't forget to like the video. And yeah, I will see everyone in the next one. Bye!
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.